Winterreise is a song cycle for voice and piano by Franz Schubert, a setting of 24 poems by Wilhelm Müller. It is the second of Schubert's two great song cycles on Müller's poems, the earlier being Die Paragraph nie Müllerin. Both were originally written for tenor voice but are frequently transposed to suit other vocal ranges, the precedent being established by Schubert himself. These two works have posed interpretative demands on listeners and performers due to their scale and structural coherence. Although Ludwig van Beethoven's cycle and Die ferne Geliebte had been published earlier, in 1816, Schubert's two cycles hold the foremost place in the history of the genre. Authorship and composition: Winterreise was composed in two parts, each containing 12 songs, the first part in February 1827 and the second in October 1827. The two parts were also published separately, by Tobias Haselinger, the first on January 14, 1828, and the second on December 30, 1828. Müller, a poet, soldier, and imperial librarian at Dessau in Prussia, died in 1827 aged 33, and probably never heard the first setting of his poems in Die Paragraph nie Müllerin, let alone Winterreise. Die Paragraph nie Müllerin had become central to the performing repertoire and partnership of Schubert with his friend, the baritone singer Johann Michael Vogel, who introduced Schubert and his songs into many musical households great and small in their tours through Austria during the mid-1820s. Vogel, a literary and philosophical man accomplished in the classics and the English language, came to regard Schubert's songs as truly divine inspirations, the utterance of a musical clairvoyance. Schubert found the first 12 poems under the title Wunderlieder von Wilhelm Müller. Die Winterreise. In 12 Liedern in an almanac published in Leipzig in 1823. It was after he had set these, in February 1827, that he discovered the full series of poems in Müller's book of 1824 entitled Poems from the Posthumous Papers of a Traveling Horn Player, dedicated to the composer Carl Maria von Weber, as a pledge of his friendship and admiration. Weber had died in 1826. On March 4, 1827, Schubert invited a group of friends to his lodgings intending to sing the first group of songs, but he was out when they arrived, and the event was postponed until later in the year, when the full performance was given. Between the 1823 and 1824 editions Müller varied the texts slightly, but also altered the order in which they were presented. Owing to the two stages of composition, Schubert's order in the song cycle preserves the integrity of the cycle of the first 12 poems published and appends the 12 new poems as a Fortsetzung, following Müller's order with the one exception of switching Die Nebenszenen and Mutt. In the complete book edition Müller's final running order was as follows: Gute Nacht. Die Wetterfahne. Transposed. Erstrung. Der Leinenbaum. Die Post. Wasserfluth. Auf dem Fluss. Ra Quarterblick. Der Graiskopf. Die Coherence he. Letzte Hoffnung. Im Dorf. Der Star Ramisch Magina. Ta Currency Uschung. Der Wegweiser. Das Wirtshaus. Das Irrlicht. Rast. Die Nebenszenen. Fra Linkstrom. Einsamkeit. Mutt. Der Lehmann. Thus Schubert's numbers would run 1 to 5, 13, 6 to 8, 14 to 21, 9 to 10, 23, 11 to 12, 22, 24, a sequence occasionally attempted by Hans Joachim Moser and Gar Nthe Baum. Schubert's original group of settings therefore closed with the dramatic cadence of Irrlicht, Rast, Fra Linkstrom, and Einsamkeit, and his second sequence begins with Die Post. Dramatically the first half is the sequence from the leaving of the beloved's house, and the second half the torments of reawakening hope and the path to resignation. In Winterreise Schubert raises the importance of the pianist to a role equal to that of the singer. In particular the piano's rhythms constantly express the moods of the poet, like the distinctive rhythm of Auf dem Fluss, the restless syncopated figures in Ra Quarterblick, the dramatic tremolos in Einsamkeit, the glimmering clusters of notes in I relict, or the sharp accents in Der Star 1/4 Römisch Morgen. The piano supplies rich effects in the nature imagery of the poems, the voices of the elements, the creatures and active objects, the rushing storm, the crying wind, the water under the ice, birds singing, ravens croaking, dogs baying, the rusty weather vane grating, the posthorn calling, and the drone and repeated melody of the hurdy-gurdy. Opinions of Schubert's intentions, what might have forced the composer to confront and create the somber Winterreise. A possible explanation is documented in a book by Elizabeth Norman Mackay, Schubert, The Piano and Dark Keys, towards the end of 1822. Schubert was very sick, having contracted the syphilis that inevitably was to affect the remainder of his life, his physical and mental health, and the music he was to compose. As detailed below, he worked on a Oe die Winterreise as he was dying of syphilis. In addition to his friend Franz von Schubert, Schubert's friends who often attended his Schubertiaden or musical sessions included Eduard von Bonfeld, Joseph von Sporn, and the poet Johann Meyerhofer. Both Sporn and Meyerhofer describe the period of the composition of Winterreise as one in which Schubert was in a deeply melancholic frame of mind, as Meyerhofer puts it, because life had lost its rosiness and winter was upon him. Sporn tells that Schubert was gloomy and depressed, and when asked the reason replied, "Come to Schubert today and I will play you a cycle of terrifying songs. They have affected me more than has ever been the case with any other songs." He then, with a voice full of feeling, sang the entire Winterreise for us. We were altogether dumbfounded by the somber mood of these songs, and Schubert said that one song only, Der Linebaum, had pleased him. Thereupon Schubert leapt up and replied, "These songs please me more than all the rest, and in time they will please you as well." It is argued that in the gloomy nature of the Winterreise, compared with Die Paragraph Niemar 1/4 Müllerin, there is a change of season, December for May, and a deeper core of pain, the difference between the heartbreak of a youth and a man. There is no need to seek in external vicissitudes an explanation of the pathos of the Winterreise music when the composer was this Schubert who, as a boy of 17, had the imagination to fix Gretchen's cry in music once for all, and had so quivered year by year in response to every appeal, to Mignon's and the harper's grief, to Meyerhofer's nostalgia. It is not surprising to hear of Schubert's haggard look in the Winterreise period. But not depression, rather a kind of sacred exhilaration. We see him practically gasping with fearful joy over his tragic Winterreise, at his luck in the subject, at the beauty of the chance which brought him his collaborator back, at the countless fresh images provoked by his poetry of fire and snow, of torrent and ice, of scalding and frozen tears. The composer of the Winterreise may have gone hungry to bed, but he was a happy artist. Schubert's last task in life was the correction of the proofs for Part 2 of Winterreise, and his thoughts while correcting those of the last song, Der Liedermann, when his last illness was only too evident, can only be imagined. However, he had heard the whole cycle performed by Vogel, though he did not live to see the final publication, nor the opinion of the Wiener Theaterzeitung. Ma 1/4 Lehr is naive, sentimental, and sets against outward nature a parallel of some passionate soul state which takes its color and significance from the former. Schubert's music is as naive as the poet's expressions. The emotions contained in the poems are as deeply reflected in his own feelings, and these are so brought out in sound that no one can sing or hear them without being touched to the heart. Elena Gerhardt said of the Winterreise, "You have to be haunted by this cycle to be able to sing it." Nature of the work. In his introduction to the Peters edition, Professor Max Ma 1/4 Lehr, son of the poet Wilhelm Ma 1/4 Lehr, remarks that Schubert's two-song cycles have a dramatic effect not unlike that of a full-scale tragic opera, particularly when performed by great singers such as Jenny Lind or Julius Stockhausen. Like Die Paragraph Niemar 1/4 Müllerin, Schubert's Winterreise is not merely a collection of songs upon a single theme but is in effect one single dramatic monologue, lasting over an hour in performance. Although some individual songs are sometimes included separately in recitals, it is a work which is usually presented in its entirety. The intensity and the emotional inflections of the poetry are carefully built up to express the sorrows of the lover, and are developed to an almost pathological degree from the first to the last note. The songs represent the voice of the poet as the lover, and form a distinct narrative and dramatic sequence, though not in so pronounced a way as in Die paragraph Niemar 1 Müllerin. In the course of the cycle the poet, whose beloved now fancies someone else, leaves his beloved's house secretly at night, quits the town and follows the river and the steep ways to a village. Having longed for death, he is at last reconciled to his loneliness. The cold, darkness, and barren winter landscape mirror the feelings in his heart, and he encounters various people and things along the way which form the subject of the successive songs during his lonely journey. It is in fact an allegorical journey of the heart. The two Schubert cycles, of which Winterreise is the more mature, are absolute fundamentals of the German Lied, and have strongly influenced not only this style but also the vocal method and technique in German classical music as a whole. The resources of intellect and interpretative power required to deliver them, in the chamber or concert hall, challenge the greatest singers. Synopsis 1. Gute Nacht a stranger I arrived. A stranger I depart and may he won the love of a girl and hope to marry her. But now the world is dreary, and he must leave, in winter, in the dead of night, finding his own way in the trackless snow. A love loves to wander from one person to the next he writes good night on her gate to show he thought of her. 2. Die Wetterfahren the weather vane on her house creaks in the shifting winds, mocking him and showing the inconstant hearts inside. What do they care about my suffering? Their child is a wealthy bride. €3. Twan tra currency then he notices he has been crying and chides his tears for being cool enough to freeze. They do come out of his heart hot enough to melt all the winter unregistered trademark ice. 4. Erstrung he looks in vain for her footprints beneath the snow where they walk through the green meadow and wants to melt away the snow and ice with his tears. He has nothing to remember her by except his pain. She is frozen in his heart. If it thaws, her image will flow away. 5. Der Leinborn the tree, a reminder of happier days, seems to call him, promising rest. But he turns away, into the cold wind. And now, miles away, he still hears it calling him, here you would find peace €6. Wasserflood the cold snow thirstily sucks up his tears. When the warm winds blow, the snow and ice will melt, and the brook will carry them through the town to where his sweetheart lives. 7. Off dem Fluss the gaily rushing stream lies silent under a hard crust. In the ice he carves a memorial to their love. The river is an image of his heart swelling up powerfully beneath the frozen surface. 8. Ra 1 Blick he recounts his headlong flight from the town and recalls his springtime arrival in the city of inconstancy, in two girlish eyes which captivated him. When he thinks of that time, he would like to go back and stand silently in front of her house. 9. I relic the false light of the will unregistered trademark the wisp has led him astray, but hey unregistered trademark used to it. Every path leads to the same goal. Our joys and sorrows are but a trick of the light. Every stream reaches the sea, every sorrow its grave. 10. Last only now that he has stopped to rest does he realize how tired and sore he is. And in the quiet he feels for the first time the which stings him inwardly. 11. Fra 1 Storm he dreams of springtime and love, but wakes to cold and darkness and the shrieking of ravens. He sees frost leaves painted on the window. When will they turn green? When will he again embrace his beloved? 12. Einsamkeit he wanders, like a sad and lonely cloud, through the bright and happy life around him. Even when the storms were raging. I was not so miserable, €13. Die Post he hears a post horn. Why does my heart leap up so? Theory unregistered trademark no letter for you. But maybe Theory unregistered trademark some news of her? €14. Der Greyskopf Frost has turned his hair grey and he rejoices at being an old man. But when it thaws, he is horrified to be a youth again, how far it is still to the grave of €15. Die Crow-currency He Crow has been following him. It has never left him, expecting to take his body as its prey. A euro OE at 1 euro unregistered trademark TB much longer now. Crow, show me constancy unto death. A 16 euros. Letzte Hoffnung he gambles on a leaf quivering in the wind. If it falls from the tree, all his hopes are dashed. He falls to the ground himself and weeps over the euro OE gravi euro of his hopes. 17. Im Dorf dogs bark, and all the people are asleep, dreaming of success and failure, finding on their pillows what eluded them in life. A euro I am done with all dreaming. Why should I linger among the sleepers? An 18 euros. Der Star 1/4 Ramish Morgan. The storm is an image of his heart, wild and cold like the winter. 19. Tar currency use Chung a dancing light wants to lead him astray, and he is glad to go along. A euro OE behind ice and night and horror. A euro it shows him a warm, bright house and a loving wife within. Illusion is all he has. 20. Der Wegweiser. A euro OE why do I take secret ways and avoid the other travelers? A euro unregistered trademark. They committed no crime. What foolish desire drives me to seek the wastelands? A euro he journeys endlessly, seeking peace and finding none. A signpost points the way. A euro OE I must travel a road where no one has ever yet returned. A 21 euros. Das White Schloss. He comes to a graveyard and wants to enter. But all the rooms in this a euro OE eine euro are taken. He resolves to go on his way with his faithful walking stick. 22. Mutt. He shakes the snow from his face and sings cheerfully to silence his heart. A euro unregistered trademark S stirrings, striding into the world, against wind and weather. A euro OE if theory. A euro unregistered trademark S no God on earth, then we ourselves are gods. A 23 euros. Die Nebens. And then he sees 3 suns staring at him in the sky. A euro OE you are not my sons. Once I too had 3, but the best 2 have now set. If only the third would follow. A euro unregistered trademark LL be happier in the darkness. At 24 euros. Der Lehman. Behind the village stands a hurdy-gurdy man, cranking his instrument with frozen fingers. His begging bowl is always empty. No one listens to his music, and the dogs growl at him. But his playing never stops. A euro OE strange old man. Shall I come with you? Will you play your hurdy-gurdy to accompany my songs? A euro full texts of the songs with a good translation by Celia Scroy can be downloaded in PDF format at http://www.gopro.com. Translations Schubert 911 PDF, reworkings by others. Franz Liszt transcribed 12 of the songs in the cycle for piano, rearranging their order. 1. Gute Nacht. 4. Erstrung. 5. Der Leinbaum. 6. Wasserflut. 13. Die Post. 17. Im Dorf. 18. Der Star 1/4 Ramish Morgan. 19. Tar currency use Chung. 21. Das White Schloss. 22. Mutt. 23. Die Nebensonnen. And 24. Der Lehmann. He may have intended to transcribe them all. See also Franz Liszt's treatments of the works of other composers. Leopold Godesky made a number of piano transcriptions of Schubert songs. The only one from Winterreise was the first song, Gute Nacht. Hans Zender orchestrated a version of the cycle in 1993, altering the music in the process. Jens Joseph created in 2001 a version for tenor and string quartet. It was recorded by Christian Elsner and the Henschel Quartet in 2002, and performed in 2004 by Peter Schreier and the Dresdner Streich Quartet. John Numria made a ballet to Winterreise on his Hamburg Ballet Company in December 2001. Oboist Normand Forget made a unique chamber version for accordion and wind quintet including bass clarinet, oboe d'amore and baroque horn, recorded in September 2007 by tenor Christoph Pra. Copyright Guardian, accordionist Joseph Petrick and the Montreux Copyright L Ensemble Pentadrix. It was performed at the Hohenems Schubertiade. Austria 2009, and the Berlin Philharmonic Chamber Music Series with the Berlin Philharmonic Wind Quintet 2013. The deaf actor Horst Dietrich translated the cycle of poems into Austrian Sign Language in 2007 and presented it on stage in a production of ARBOS, a Euro company for music and theatre directed by Herbert Gantzkircher, with Rupert Bergman and Gerd Hecher, in 2008 in Vienna and Salzburg and in 2009 in Villach. Rick Burkhardt, Alec Duffy and Dave Malloy created an Obie Award-winning theatrical adaptation of the cycle, Three Pianos, directed by Rachel Chavin. The show played at the Ontological Theatre and New York Theatre Workshop in 2010 and the American Repertory Theatre in 2011. Matthias Loebner, inspired by Der Lehmann, the last song of Winterreise, arranged the cycle for voice and hurdy-gurdy, and recorded it in 2010 with soprano Natina Murkoviadou. Additions: besides reordering Ma 1/4 Lair's songs, Schubert made a few changes to the words. Verse for a verse strung in Ma 1/4 Lair's version read, Schubert's text bracketed Mein Herz ist wie Floren, Erstorben. I Rit verse 2 read, Unsere Freuden, unsere Win, Leiden, and der Wegweise verse 3 read Weise stehen auf den Straßen, Wegen. These have all been restored in Mandaczewski's edition and are offered as alternative readings in Fischer-Dieskau's revision of Max Friedler Karenzinder's edition for Peters. A few of the songs differ in the autograph and a copy with Schubert's corrections. Wasserflood was transposed by Schubert from Fa unregistered trademark to E without alteration. Rast moved from D to C and Einsamkeit from D to B, both with changes to the vocal line. Mutt was transposed from A to G. Der Lehmann was transposed from B to A. The most recent scholarly edition of Winterreise is the one included as part of the Barkarency Reinread to New Schubert edition, 5, edited by Walther Dar 1/4 RR, Volume 3, which offers the songs in versions for high, medium and low voices. In this edition the key relationships are preserved, only one transposition is applied to the whole cycle. The following table names the keys used in different editions. Major keys are shown with uppercase letters, and minor keys with lowercase letters. Enduring influence: Schubert's Winterreise has had a marked influence on several key works, including Gustav Mahler's Lieder 1 Vorende and Gisellen and Benjamin Britten's Night Piece. In 1991, Maury Yeston composed December Songs, a song cycle influenced by Winterreise, on commission from Carnegie Hall for its centennial celebration. Recordings: there are numerous recordings. Before 1936 are the complete 1928 version of Hans Duhan with Ferdinand Voll and Lee Northman, the incomplete Richard Tauber version with Misha Spoliansky, and, lastingly famous, the version of Gerard Ha 1/4 SCH with Hans Udo Ma 1/4 Lair. There is a very powerful account by Peter Anders with Michael Rohrkesen recorded in Berlin in 1945. The Hans Hotter account with Gerald Moore is very celebrated. Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau, among the most famous of exponents, is represented in 7 versions spanning 4 decades, 3 with Gerald Moore, and 1 each with Jar Paragraph R. G. Demis, Daniel Barenboim, Alfred Brendel and Murray Param. Olaf Barkarency's 1989 recording with Jeffrey Parsons on EMI Classics is well regarded. Very low-pitched recordings are available by Kurt Moll with pianist Kurt Garben and by Joseph Greindl with pianist Hertha Klast. Some videotaped performances are also available, including mezzo-soprano Krista Ludwig with Charles Spencer, and several by Fischer-Dieskau. These, and the discs of Peter Pears with Benjamin Britten, have all long been considered outstanding, although Norman Lebrecht placed the Pears-Britten coupling among 20 recordings that should never have been made in his 2007 book The Life and Death of Classical Music. Highly recommended versions from the modern era include those of Ian Bostridge with Leif Ove Janssens, Thomas Karstoff with Charles Spencer, Wolfgang Hülsmer with Imogen Cooper, Christian Gehaler with Gerald Huber, Mark Padmore with Paul Lewis, and Werner Gar 1/4 Ra with Christoph Bernert playing a Ra paragraph niche fortepiano of 1872. In 2000, tenor Ian Bostridge and pianist Julius Drake made a dramatic video recording of the entire cycle. Footnotes. References: Blom, Eric, Schubert's Winterreise, Foreword and Analytical Notes 32 pp. Capel, Richard. Schubert's Song. London, Ernest Benner, Deutsch, Otto Erich. Schubert, Die Erinnerungen seiner Freund. Leipzig, Breitkopf und Haarcurrency RTEL, Deutsch, Otto Erich. Franz Schubert, Zeugnis seiner Zeitgenossen. Frankfurt, Fischer Verlage, Dostal, Andreas, Wilhelm Müller 1/4 Lehrs die Winterreise und die Early Paragraph Sprechen der Romantik, in, the German Quarterly LXVI, Anna. 4, ppA 467 Euro 476. EMG, The Art of Record Buying. Fischer-Dieskau, Dietrich. Schubert Songs. New York, Notfer, Jarusso, Richard. Beyond the Liamen. In Roll, Barbara M., and Lorraine Byrne Bodley. The Unknown Schubert. Ashgater, Hayward, Ernest, Terrifying Songs, Radio Times January 20, 1939. Mann, William, Schubert Winterreise, Sleeve Notes HMVASD 552. Moore, Gerald. The Schubert Song Cycles, with Thoughts on Performance. London, Hamish Hamilton or, Maar 1/4 Lehr, Wilhelm, aus dem hinterlassenen Papier und eins Reisenden Walderissen, 2, Lieder des Lebens und der Liebe. Newman, Andrew Copyright S. El Viajero del Cielo. Madrid, Alfaguara, 2009. 12 Alfaguara Award of Novel. Osborne, Charles, Schubert Winterreise, Sleeve Notes HMV Alps 1298/9. Reed, John. The Schubert Song Companion. New York, Universe Books. ISBN A0-87663-477-3 Rieberg, Walter and Paul. Schubert, Sein Leben und Werk. Zurich, Artemis Verlage, Robertson, Alec, Schubert, Winterreise, brochure accompanying Decca set 270-271. Schubert, Franz, Sammlung der Lieder kritisch revidiert von Max Friedler Currency der, Bandai, preface by Max Maar 1/4 Lehr. Jans, Susan. Retracing a Winter's Journey, Schubert's Winterreise. Ithaca, New York, Cornell University Press. External links, Winterreise, free scores at the International Music Score Library Project, The Working Miss at Schubert Online, German texts and English translations, performance by Randall Skylata and Jeremy Denk Part 1 and Part 2 from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in MP3 format, complete performance by soprano Lottie Lehman, Winterreise, a website about Winterreise by Margot Breyer-Sink, the complete text, spoken in German, at LibriVox.org.